Hello, good morning. I wanted to say, first of all, good morning and see how everybody's doing. Today is so different from yesterday. I think I started yesterday saying, wow, isn't it lovely and sunny, and I'm going to go for a walk. And then today is raining and very, very cloudy, but those kind of white clouds that make everything kind of all the light bounce around everywhere. So actually, everybody is inside at the moment. The cats are inside, we're inside, and all the windows are rainy, and it's really lovely. It's really lovely if you're in a metal box to have the rain on the roof. So let me know in the comments what the weather's like where you are. Is it raining? Is it sunny? Is it nighttime? And I love to see where everybody's from. We are going on to our galaxy painting today, and this is our it's actually my favorite part of the galaxy painting because we're going to add the stars. It's not the end of the galaxy painting though. Tomorrow we get to add in some detail, which is really makes the painting pop. So you have to kind of remember this is the background. We're now doing the middle ground, and then tomorrow we're going to do the foreground, and when that all comes together it looks superb. So I wanted to go on with our stars today. I'll show you what you need. You'll need you'll need a brush of some sort. I've got 3 brushes because I'm kind of doing a little bit of an experiment. Live experiments, what could possibly go wrong, to see which one of my brushes makes the stars that I like the most. I've got some water, but also for the stars today I'm using some white opaque gouache. Very quickly, if you don't know the difference between gouache and watercolour, they are related in the paint family, the same as acrylics and oils are related, but what gouache does is it will sit on top of the watercolour. A white watercolour at this point would not, because of the transparency, would not sit on top of the image. The gouache doesn't let as much light through, so it's not as transparent, and it will sit on top, which is what we need for the stars. If you don't have a white gouache, you can definitely try mixing up your white watercolour and just trying not to add too much water to it, making a thicker consistency. Or you can also have a little bit of watered down white acrylic. Not too watered down, you've got to play around with the right combination. All right, so good morning. I love my regulars. You guys are awesome. I think we've spent lockdown together, Pauline. Morning, Sandra. And please excuse me if I do miss anybody because it kind of flashes up on the screen and I don't always see it in time. And then I go back and I watch these videos and I'm like, oh, I forgot to say good morning to someone. So please excuse me, it's never on purpose. Okay, the other thing I've got this morning is a little bit of gold, and again we're just going to experiment live and see how the gold goes and how it dries, because we don't just want an array of white stars, because we know that stars have different colours, though I think it's the white ones that reach our eyes, but we want to put in a few yellow ones, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that as well. So I want to get started with that. Before we get started though, I want to share with you my new course, because I want to put a link in the comments now so that we don't lose it and we don't forget. My actual course is going to start on the 1st of December. I'm super excited about it. Give me a love heart if you are excited as well. It's a awesome course. I'll put the link in and you can go and check it out. It's Kickstart Your Creativity. It's all these prompts to get you motivated. It's come at exactly the right time because we're already on a roll. We're already being creative. We're already having fun with it. And this is the perfect group to share all of your creative journey. So this Kickstart Your Creativity course is going to really boost along your creativity. It's everything that I wish I had had. It's got ideas, it's got prompts, and it's got a lot of kind of helpful hints on how to start your watercolor practice, but it's also really good if you're just looking to have a good mindset when you are painting. It's really great company. It does all those sorts of things. But what I wanted to tell you really quickly is that there is a whole group bonus for you guys. So I'm going to put this on my business page next week, probably on the weekend. And before it goes on my business page, I want to put bonuses for you guys. So I want to do an extra Christmas bonus, so like a Christmas present, where we design some Christmas cards together. But I'll have a couple of prompts that are extra presents that won't be available after Saturday. So after Saturday, the bonuses, when it goes onto my business page, the bonuses won't be there anymore. But I also wanted to do this really exciting thing. So let me know if you're interested in this. For the first 20 people who sign up, I wanted to send you a digital download of one of the paintings that we've done in these tutorials together. And what you can do with the digital download is it's scanned and sent to you at high quality, and you can actually just take that to a printer and print it out as though we would send you a print. And I wanted to send that to the first 20 people who sign up, because and you can choose whichever image you want from these tutorials. So that's my super exciting bonus for the first 20 people. But also there's a whole group bonus of some extra Christmas card designs. And you know what I'm like, I can't help but add some extra things in there. So who knows what'll happen. But go and check that out. That'd be awesome. Give me a love heart if you think that's a great idea. And we are going to go on with our stars. So first of all, the other thing about gouache is it doesn't really reactivate like watercolor does. So you can have a palette with watercolor and you can just add water and it will reactivate. Well, gouache, once it dries, you've got to really be dedicated and really work it to get it active again. I do have a little bit of gouache on my palette. Show you that. So over here on this side, that's a big lump of gouache, and that's a tiny lump of watercolor, white watercolor. And sometimes I'll just put a little bit of watercolor in that section there, and it'll make my watercolor a little bit lighter. But I can go into those kinds of techniques with you another time. But that lump of gouache there is never gonna come back to this kind of form. So you do have to use it sparingly when you put it out. So what I'm doing is I'm just, it's already active because it's already creamy and formed. So what I'm going to do is I just dip my paintbrush into the water, and then I'm diluting it just ever so slightly because I don't want it to get too diluted. Again, it's in the watercolor family, so if you do dilute it too much, it is going to be less opaque. Okay, and then all we do, is a fun bit, is we tap some of our stars on. And what I like to do is kind of get a drum situation going here, and yeah, just be brave with it and tap some of them on. And I go quite gently at the beginning. You can see there's only really small ones there. And the great thing about this tapping, if you want to, you can use your hand and go like that. What I found is if you use a rigid brush to tap on, your stars are a little bit rounder and they are a little bit smaller. Whereas if you move the actual paintbrush, so you're tapping it against your hand like that, the dots end up being more directional, but you can play around with that as well. So we're going to think about the night sky. I can't talk and tap at the same time because I think it's going to be too loud. We think about the night sky that is going to have clusters of stars. So what you want to do here is you don't want to have all your stars evenly distributed over your whole page. You want to kind of look and go, oh, there's the Milky Way or something like that. If you're really good at stars, then fantastic. You could even have yours being something that made more sense than mine. That noise is actually hurting my head, my ears. If you find that tapping it like this is causing that kind of direction, what I do is just turn the paintbrush around as well every now and then so that you don't end up with all your stars flying in the same direction. Okay, I kind of feel like this is worn out now, and what I'd like to do is change up. Let's go down to a level 1. That was a level 6. Okay. So let's see how this one goes. It's not that different actually. I tend to use a smaller paintbrush when I'm doing my stars because you need an amount of water to activate to make the paint drop, and I find that on a bigger paintbrush you use more water, therefore you use more opaque gouache, and so I tend to use the smaller paintbrushes, but I was wondering how that would affect it. My live experiment proved nothing. I do want some bigger ones. So to get a bigger one, you need to make sure your paintbrush is wet, and you go into the gouache, and you have to make sure it's wet gouache that's also not, that's quite thick, and then you have to drop it closer. Yeah. So I do want a couple of those bigger ones, but you don't want to surround your whole painting. I really love this cluster here. So I think if I tap it with my hand, from what I can work out, the dots are bigger. I do like this cluster. Looks like a bit of a splash. Okay. So that's my white layer. Now, what I would generally do, and what I advise you to do, is to let that layer dry, because we're going to put in just a couple of different colors, and if you put in the colors on top of the opaque, they're just going to blend, and you kind of want your galaxy to look just like it has that extra distance in it. But because we're live and we're hanging out together, I'm just going to show you what I mean, but when you do it, try to let them dry a little bit. Use a hairdryer. Okay, so we're just going to go with our a little bit of the yellow. Well, I'm going to go with like an orangey yellow. And you can mix your orangey yellow with some of your opaque gouache. Can you see that colour change there? And this is making a opaque yellow. And then use it sparingly, because you don't want to accidentally make a firework painting. Maybe you do. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay. So that's the yellow. And also, and here's this trick I learnt the other day, I'm going to get a little bit of purple. Because purple's a great travel colour like in the background. I wonder how it'll dry. I don't want too much. Just a couple there. The purple ones are kind of like, you know, when you look into the sky and you're not sure if it's a star. I love them. They're awesome. Now I just wanted to show you quickly with the gold, because I'll show you, because the gold is really interesting when you mix it with the water. It's not actually that inspiring, but when it dries, it looks awesome. If you are going to get some of this gold, sometimes when you're buying gold online as watercolor, you're not actually sure if it's going to be opaque enough and how it's going to blend. I absolutely hands down recommend this one. It's from, and I don't 100% know how to pronounce the brand, but it's like Schmick or something like that, and it's really, really good. So again, mixing up the gold with just a little bit of water because we want it to float off the paintbrush. That's the reason we're mixing these with water. You can mix this with a tiny bit of yellow, but I prefer. So there's some here because I want to show you these later when they dry. Get some in that middle section. They look so lovely. Did you notice I haven't really done my bottom section that much, and that's because I do plan on painting a silhouette there. So so I'm not really that stressed about that bit. I'm really aiming to get everything layered at the top here. That gold is going to look so lovely. If you are finding that there's some sections that you're like, oh, I just need an extra dot in that, well, obviously you can go in with a small toothpick or your brush, and you can dot it if that's desperately what you want. And sometimes it helps if you have a spray that's accidentally happened that you can just go in and put a few dots. I find when you dot it yourself though, you can never get that random look. But it is a lot of fun. And now, again, if you're at home doing this, you would dry between each of those layers. What you want to do for the final layer is just fill in anywhere where you think it needs to be a little bit whiter. And I've just gone straight out of my tub, put my paintbrush in because I'm not going to use too much, a little bit of water to make it fluid, mixing it on my paintbrush and then going in with it. So hopefully this one will be a brighter white. It looked a bit splashy. Just looks so awesome. It's a really personal decision now where you stop. I think I splashed some on me as well. Right. I think I'm going to stop there. But I might come back to it today at some point when like I said, when that layer dries. And even if I have to go in, if some of my white is a little bit diluted, I can go back in and just put a little dot on the top straight from my opaque, and then that will make it shine a little bit more. So there's a bit more to it than, you know, when we were at primary school, if you ever did that great iconic artwork where you brushed. You got an old toothbrush, but you got a toothbrush and you used it to brush paint on. You could definitely try that as well. I like this way because it kind of looks more spotty. But that has to dry, and then tomorrow we are going to finish it off, and it is actually quite a stunning finish off. So, and it will be a really busy lesson as well, because it takes quite a long time to do the silhouette, but it's very worth watching. So give me a love heart if you enjoyed that. And I have really been enjoying watching all of your backgrounds as well develop. And I know some of you have done 2 or 3 or 4 backgrounds. You're exactly like me. I won't show you now, but I've got like a heap of backgrounds over here, because when I started doing one, I just got a little bit obsessed. And then when you start adding stars to all of them, you'll see that it really makes it pop, so it's well worth it. So please do, oh, thank you for the love hearts. Please do check out my course. It's exactly what you need right now to keep up the momentum, because unfortunately these tutorials will finish at some point, and it's a really great thing to keep you going and also keep you interested with an idea to be able to share in the group, as well as me being able to spend time with you and giving you some more tuition, which is really important for your journey. So keep the momentum going, keep practicing, keep developing, and definitely keep enjoying it. Remember that my bonuses are only going to be in the group until Saturday. And again, the first 20 people are the first 20 people. But I will see you tomorrow, and we will finish this artwork off. Bye.